Boys, oh my gosh, MLB The Show 22 obviously starting off with an absolute bang, but what I didn't realize is that we've already kind of got a little bit of information about Diamond Dynasty for MLB The Show 22. Now we have a lot to talk about. Not only is there going to be a lot of stuff coming with a new game in Diamond Dynasty, but we should be seeing one big new mode already that they've already kind of talked about. They just announced it on their website. I haven't seen a bunch of MLB The Show creators talk about it. I've heard it talked about a little bit. We're going to be talking about what this means and kind of what we are going to be seeing from the new game mode, as well as what we are going to be seeing from the game as a whole. There's a bunch of news on the topic already, so we're going to be talking about literally everything that we can today that we know about so far. But before getting this video, make sure you guys drop a like and sub. We're literally so close to 6,000 subscribers. Hit that sub button. I know one of you guys down there does not have that button subbed, and let's get right into it. All right, boys, so the first thing I'm actually going to talk about is not even on the MLB The Show website, but we're going to be talking about how MLB The Show 22 should be available for us to actually end up playing sometime in the next month in a beta test. If you remember last year, MLB The Show actually had one giant beta test that came last year about a month and a half before the game. We got it at the very beginning, I believe, of May, and it was kind of like an alpha test, and there was like no recording. Basically, if you ended up recording it, you ended up getting permabanned or something like that, and I was about to leak a bunch of it, but I had a bunch of other creators telling me, no, don't do that, big problem, so I didn't end up doing it. I probably won't end up leaking it this year, but besides the point, we should be able to actually end up playing MLB The Show 22 if you end up putting a form, especially if you're on Nintendo Switch. I remember last year I ended up getting one of those bids on Xbox. It was actually pretty easy because there weren't a lot of Xbox players going out and trying to play the game early, and so I ended up being able to play the alpha. I was one of the few that got to do that, and I bet this year I'm going to end up buying a Nintendo Switch specifically to kind of play on road trips for MLB The Show 22. I bet if I end up putting a bid, I should be able to have some of the first Nintendo Switch gameplay and be able to try it on that little thing, so we'll end up seeing how that goes. But we should be able to play MLB The Show 22 sometime early May, late February in an alpha test. They usually do this every single year. It's kind of a strict loading process, and we'll see if we actually end up getting in and are able to play early, but we're gonna have to wait for that. That's just kind of one thing that I wanted to talk about Diamond Dynasty, is you're gonna be able to play Diamond Dynasty now. It's not gonna be the brand new game, and we're not gonna be able to see everything. It'll probably, last year it was literally MLB The Show 20 players put in MLB The Show 21. So yes, there were the new game mechanics like pinpoint pitching and everything, but it was kind of just its own little thing. Now, the big thing that we were talking about today is going to be the feature that we see in the website. And I heard a couple guys talk about this. I know a couple YouTubers already did, but we're going to be breaking this down a lot more in depth. So it says on the MLB The Show 22 website, try the new mini seasons modes, where each season brings new challenges as you face off against a new set of competition. Now, whenever I see this, the first thing that I kind of think of is solo battles. And if you don't know what solo battles are, it comes from Madden. It's a Madden thing. And basically, you end up playing a set of challenges against the CPU, whether it's a really good team or you have to do this or that kind of miscellaneous things. You end up racking up points on the leaderboard, end up getting some really good players and kind of stuff from it. You'll get like, I'm guessing you'll get some stubs, you'll get some packs, and who knows, maybe you'll end up getting a couple of new things. We don't even know what all they're going to add as far as cards go. You know, I'm a big advocate of them adding some type of team chemistry and stuff like that in the game, although I never think that they are going to end up doing that at chems, because it's kind of a Madden thing. And I know a bunch of you guys are going to say, keep MLB The Show, MLB The Show. I just want theme teams to be better. That's the one thing I say that. I would really love for me to be able to play as a certain team in MLB The Show Diamond Dynasty and have like 40 out of 40 players from that team end up giving me a boost so it's viable and ranked, but that's just me for another day. Other than the new mini seasons mode that we are going to end up getting, which should be a solo battles type mode, I'm going to kind of go over what solo battles are. If you don't know what solo battles looks like, and this is what I basically expect this to end up kind of being like, although I could be wrong, would be you kind of get some stubs or some coins. You can see right here you get coins, some Hail Mary packs, so like show pack. Maybe we end up getting some type of prime pack. You don't necessarily know what they're going to end up doing with this. Obviously, MLB The Show is the most free-to-play game ever, and they usually give out tons of rewards. So maybe we'll actually end up seeing some live series players coming out of this, especially beginning of the year. That would be so clutch for getting those collections done. It's going to make that go so much faster. But that's kind of what I think that we're going to end up seeing from the mini modes playlist. I don't think that you're going to have to play full 162 game seasons against the CPU, although it does say mini seasons modes. I think that maybe it'll be 7 games, 10 games, 12 games, something like that, and it shouldn't be too terrible. Another big thing that a lot of YouTubers are actually completely biffing on is the fact that ball players is said. Now, I want to make sure that MLB The Show is very particular, because usually they are right on the money and they're throwing little hints at you that you probably didn't even look. Create and use multiple all players. So basically what this means is that you should be able to use multiple different cards that are created in Road to the Show that actually end up going into Diamond Dynasty. Obviously, at the beginning of the year, these caps, ball players, whatever you want to call them, they are the most broken players in the game. It's absolutely not even close. They are disgusting. But the big thing that I'm going to say here that is really underrated is the fact that ball players, we might actually be able to use more than one. Now, I don't know how this is going to work. So the one thing to kind of keep in mind here is maybe they are somehow making it to where it is not going to end up being the different ball players in the same game. What it's going to mean is that you can use different types of ball players and change their perks and stuff. So it's just one thing to kind of keep in mind. Maybe they are not, but the way that I am reading this is that with multiple ball players, it means literally multiple ball players. Another thing we're seeing, obviously, is cross-platform play. Now, this is literally the reason I am buying Nintendo Switch. You guys know I'm a college baseball player. We are on the road a ton when MLB The Show 22 actually ends up dropping. So I'm going to actually pull up a hotspot on my phone. And what I'm going to end up doing pretty much every single bus ride whenever we're going to another state to play a team or we're going on some type of trip, I'm going to bring my Nintendo Switch and I'm going to happily grind ball player and get those methods out for you. You guys know I'm a grinder. Obviously, I can be using the MLB The Show mobile app that they're definitely going to use for 22 for getting a bunch of stubs on my stub methods. And obviously, when the game comes out, we'll end up dropping that stuff. I'm not dropping it before MLB The Show 22 because it could have changed next year. It might even be more broken. We'll see how many stubs we can actually end up getting an hour. But this is absolutely huge because every single game that I play on the Nintendo Switch will be able to actually cross over to my Xbox account, and I'm going to be able to use those Diamond Dynasty innings. Now, maybe I'm going to end up turning off crossplay on my Nintendo Switch and grinding against absolute trash cans. Now, those Nintendo Switch nerds are going to be a different breed, but the cross-platform play is going to be absolutely amazing. And basically, the rest that it says is March to October is still in the game. March to October, nobody really ever loves that game mode, so don't think it's going to be anything crazy. I doubt that it's important. Maybe they make it somehow easier so it's better for team affinities, but it was just terrible last year and took way too much time. And then the last thing that we see is dream baseball matchups with new legends joining the Diamond. The one thing that I am going to say as far as leaks go and things that have been leaked for MLB The Show 22 Diamond Dynasty is the Derek Jeter cover. Now, everybody and their mom has made a video about Derek Jeter being covered for the deluxe edition, which never actually ended up happening. It was just the Ohtani cover, so ignore all the clickbait from everything. But the big thing is that MLB The Show 22, Derek Jeter, it was a legitimate leak. It did come from Nintendo Switch. Now, the one thing I am going to say is that Derek Jeter being confirmed as a new legend has kind of been a meme in the community ever since it started, so take this with a grain of salt. SDS could literally just be trolling everybody, but I do think that there is a legitimate chance that Derek Jeter's coming to the game. I just gotta throw that out there because sometimes they're absolutely baked and they never end up happening. So I know there was a ton in that video. I kind of wanted to go over everything leaked in Diamond Dynasty and what we know about MLB The Show 22 Diamond Dynasty so far. I'm so excited for this game. You guys know I'm going to be grinding it. I'm sorry for the lack of uploads. I am in baseball season. I'm grinding. I'm trying to throw 95 miles an hour, and I'm kind of devoting my life to it. So I haven't been uploading as much, but MLB The Show, it's just been dead. We're going to be picking it up as soon as the content drops, and literally any ounce of MLB The Show 22 leaked, I'm going to be talking about it on this channel, so make sure that you're subbed, make sure that you hit that like button. Thank you guys so much. I love you boys. We have been killing it lately, even with the fewer uploads. I'll talk to you guys later, and peace.